Well, hello and greetings and good morning. I had such a nice holiday. I'm back house sitting in this beautiful luxury townhouse. House sitting for now, but I shall be home soon. But yeah, I had a nice holiday, a nice Easter holiday. Celebrated, enjoyed myself, was among friends and family. It was really nice. That should be the reason as to why I have not filmed, posted any videos in a couple of days because I was celebrating. Um, Eating good, crawfish boil, good food, drinking Hennessy and white liquor, and just having fun. Okay, so I think I'm gonna go back in time and bring up one of my story times about a daycare that I used to work at. And as always, every time I apply for these daycare jobs, there's always someone who has their own company and they just have to be unprofessional, nasty, belligerent, and just mean and nasty for no reason. Out of all the daycare centers I've worked at, the daycare center that I worked at for 3 years on the north side of Houston was the worst. That was the worst. And I think it's because the reason why I think and I feel like it was the worst daycare I ever worked at among the other daycare centers I worked at is because in those same apartments where the daycare was located at was also the same apartments where a long time ago, when I was in my early 20s and my sisters were in their middle school, preteen years around 12 and 13, his neighbors were against us and throwing eggs at our car and throwing eggs at our front door, getting into it with us, and we would call the police, and the police never did anything. It's probably one or two times when we called the police on these neighbors and the police took our side. But back then, I don't understand, why they was telling my mom and me and my sisters, well, these people have more witnesses than y'all. If y'all can get a camera and record these people harassing you, then you have a case and we can do something, which was stupid. Like, okay, I digress. I do not want to go back in time and revisit that in my mind. Okay, so like I said about the daycare center, one of the daycare centers that I used to work at, this lady who hired me, and not to mention I was so desperate for a job at that time. I walked in the hot ass sun. It was the month of May. I walked in the hot ass sun and I filled out an application. And within a week, that following Monday, the lady hired me. This lady who looked very youthful in the face, but she was like around 35. She's like light skinned complected lady. She was very skinny and she wore glasses. And she had I think this lady wore a wig every day. I'm not really sure. I didn't like her so much. I really never paid any attention to how the way that she wear her hair, but she definitely wore glasses. But it's like I could only stand working there for her for about maybe a week and a half. Every day this lady came into the job. She had a complaint. She's telling me, you don't ever interact with the kids. Then you show up late sometimes. Then she, one particular day, she had an attitude, and it was raining outside that day. And I guess she was upset because her wig had gotten wet and whatnot. So she pulled me to the side after she was done talking to a parent. And she was like, you didn't mop good. You didn't do this right. You didn't do that right. And she's like, you're going to have to start pulling your weight around here and doing things in the correct order, or I'm afraid that I'm going to have to fire you and hire someone else that could do the job better. And then I told her, at the time I wanted the job so badly because I just, I worked hard to get that job because she had hired me on the spot. But I had apologized to her and I said, I'm sorry. I will try to do better. But another day, and this was before I decided to quit, she called me and only me into the office. And she's like, every time I look on my cameras at you, I don't never see you doing anything, interacting with the kids. I said, with all due respect, I work every time I'm here. And I'm leaving my house early, wasting Uber money to get here on time for you, ma'am. She was like, anybody can come to a daycare center and not do anything. And she's like, I'm going to be honest, because she had her phone in her hand. Like, I'm going to be honest, I'm always on my phone, playing on my phone. She's like, that's what I believe that you do, because I feel like I'm paying you for nothing because you come to work and you're hardly ever doing anything. I was like, well, I disagree. I'm always working every time I'm here, ma'am, is what I said to her. But she had pissed me off to my core. I wanted to punch that lady in the face because, like, how dare you talk to me like that? And how dare you accuse me of coming into the job sitting on my ass when any time that I had to go outside and watch the kids. That was my job to take all the toddlers outside to play, to get some fresh air. And that's the only part of all the daycare jobs that I used to work at. When I had to do that, I hated doing that. I hated doing that with a passion.